back to Old to Play to this week's episode of Thick and Thin. Only this week, we don't have the thin. We just got Thick, and we've got the Hitman.
And thicker.
He's out in E3 land, getting his drink on, probably at some industry party right now, stuffing his face with some appetizers and enjoying all that good stuff. But this week, I've got Hitman with me. How you doing, Hitman?
I'm good. How are you?
Good, doing pretty well. We're running a little bit late, you know.
A little bit. Got to keep the tradition. Got to keep the tradition going.
Exactly. Well, I should have run smooth now.
Exactly.
Yeah. But the big thing this week is all about E3. We've got reports from Microsoft. We've got reports from Sony, Nintendo, individual companies. You know, all the stuff going on the internet. And I think we're just going to talk about some of the stuff we liked, maybe the stuff we didn't. So, Hitman, what'd you like so far? What'd you like about the Microsoft? Let's go with that.
Yeah, let's start in order. That's a good way to start off. Well, first off, it was Microsoft, and right off the bat, they started off big with Halo 4, and I thought it was pretty epic. Like, they started off with that live trailer of that new show that they're coming out with or whatever, and then it blended into the game. It was pretty cool. I thought it was blew my expectations. I thought they were gonna just copy Bungie, and it was just gonna be like an upgraded Bungie game because these guys don't really know what they're doing. But they've clearly changed the gameplay of Halo so far.
Yeah, I'm kind of with you on that. They did show some of the campaign there.
Yeah.
We got to see some of the new aliens or forerunners or whatever it has. Saw a couple of new weapons. I liked how the new aliens looked. I liked the AI. It looked like they weren't a bunch of just stupid guys just standing around. And we actually saw the chief throw a plasma grenade. One of them caught it, spun it around, and threw it back at him.
Threw it back at him, yeah.
Great. Yeah. The engine looks great. Looks really crisp. It looks pretty responsive. I've also seen some other gameplay footage of actual multiplayer game out there on the internet, and it looks pretty good. I mean, the weapons look pretty cool.
Seems like they added a lot to the sandbox. A lot of new weapons, abilities, things you can do in the game. Yeah, a lot of upgrades.
I like the reload animation, or when they were switching weapons, you kind of had that weapon explosion.
Yeah, when it came together. That alien gun, that was pretty cool.
Yeah, that was pretty sweet. But for Microsoft, that kind of seemed to be pretty much about it.
Yeah.
They've got their whatever it's called, the Xbox glass or the Windows glass or whatever it is. I guess that's kind of neat, and it's a nice little media streamer and everything. But that was it.
Yeah, I didn't like the Gears of War trailer. It was like more of a tease, and it was with a character that I don't really care too much about. It's not Marcus Phoenix, so that trailer didn't get me excited to play the game. What else was there? Splinter Cell. They played Splinter Cell, right, during the conference?
Yeah, they did. Yeah, that looked.
That looked alright.
It's a nice rehash again.
Yeah.
You can kind of tell. At least I got the feeling that this is definitely, the games that are going to be coming out, they've maxed whatever potential they're going to get out of this console. That, whatever's coming next, everything's going to be for the next console. They're just trying to squeak out that last few dimes, nickels, and pennies that they can out of this, and just getting prepped for the next version.
Yeah, I agree. I totally agree.
So let's see. We also had Sony's press conference where again they didn't have any big hardware news, kind of falling with Microsoft. I mean, they had a little bit of the Vita news here and there.
I was a little bit disappointed with the no price reduction on the Vita. I was surprised they didn't do it.
Yeah, I'm with you. I would expect at least, like a 10% cut or something even more. The sales aren't doing great, and you thought for sure, well, hey, let's do something to try to push this bad boy out, but they just didn't do it.
None of them did really. No, none of the big three talked prices at all. Microsoft never like talked about their current Xboxes. Sony didn't talk about a price cut in the Vita or the PS3, and Nintendo didn't talk about anything on the system. But we'll talk about that later.
Yeah. We'll stick with Sony now, and we'll
Yeah,
get
yeah,
Nintendo next coming up.
yeah, yeah.
Uh, they did roll out with Naughty Dog's new game, which is
The Last of Us.
that I didn't see too much of that until today. A couple guys were talking about it in chat, but I did see like the 7-minute trailers, like 7 minutes and 20 seconds or whatnot, and the engine looks great. I think visually the game looks really stunning.
You can tell it's made by the guys that made Uncharted.
Yes,
Yeah.
yes. I mean, it totally has that feel.
Yeah.
You almost think that it's the same characters, but it's not. But it's a lot of that feel to it. And I don't know. I assumed it was going to be another zombie game. I'm like, okay, great, another goddamn zombie game. Somebody else is going to roll it out and try to put a little tweak on it. But from what I saw in the trailer, it was just humans fighting humans, and apparently there's either been some kind of massive flood,
Well,
kind of.
this is the second trailer that they showed for this game.
Okay.
I think the first one was a few months ago, when they first announced this game, and from that trailer, you can see that it is a lot of human on human, but there's also this like infected storyline where these people, like the civilization, has been infected by some sort of fungus infection. And like apparently this is like somewhat real because they've actually researched it that this could actually happen with a certain type of fungus or something. I don't know. Anyway, it turns them into like this fungus bad guy people, and yeah, so it's kind of like zombies but fungus.
Huh.
But that trailer was basically just them running into these people. There's a fight scene, and then them running, and then you seeing that the whole world has been like destroyed, apocalyptic kind of thing. But this was the first time we've actually seen more in-depth coverage from that game.
Well, from the couple of scenes I saw, you get to see the little girl. She hurls a brick in some dude's face, and then you've got your main character there. He chokes out one guy. Then he goes into a gunfight, and then at the very end, and if you want to watch it and don't want to hear what happens, this is your spoiler alert right here. 3, 2, 1. All right. And at the very end, the last second you see him, he wrestles away the shotgun. The bad guy's on the ground. He's like, no! And then all of a sudden, you think he's probably not going to do it, but then he, shoots the dude straight in the face with the shotgun. And you see this quick, like, little split second of, like, splat, but then it cuts away. You don't see the whole thing. So I'm kind of interested to see how far they actually go with that, to see if they go with the full gory detail or not.
He totally just killed that guy like right away. He didn't even hesitate. He's like, "Don't kill me up a bit, dead."
Yep. Nope. Wasting my time.
Yeah.
I'm taking your gun, and I'm leaving you for dead.
From what I've read, is this guy the main character, the Nathan Drake type guy? He's being paid to escort this little girl out of the quarantine zone or whatever it is, apocalyptic zone, whatever you want to call it. But he was one of those people. He was one of those looters. So he knows what to expect from these guys. So that's why it was so easy for him to kill him, I guess, because he knows what these guys are capable of doing.
Okay. Maybe she's got like some kind of like antibodies in her blood or something. That
Something,
like,
yeah.
save humankind or whatever it is. But that's I kind of like that. It's kind of neat. You're using the pseudo bad guy or whatever to maybe save the world. So it'll probably be some twist where it's either down to him or saving a little girl. And what does he do and all that kind of thing. So it should be interesting. It looks pretty good. And if there's a PS3 game I might want to give a shot, this one might be it. I'm looking forward to see some more details on it. See if it's going to be some type of co-op thing, or is it just going to be single player or whatnot, or future plans of it. So
the only thing about that game that I like it's too comparable to Uncharted. I don't know what it is, but it doesn't seem like a complete difference.
You
But
think
it
it's
does
more
look like
just
a good
like
game.
a kind of like a reskinning or just a slight plot difference, but pretty much almost the same
Yeah,
character models and
like
everything?
if Bungie went and did like a Halo type kind of game after doing Halo, I'd be like, can't you guys do something different? But I'll give them the benefit of the doubt. The game looks good. I like it. Hopefully it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'll probably pick it up for PS3.
Was there anything else at Sony that you liked,
I think
or
at Sony they brought up the Assassin's Creed 3. I'm pretty sure they did a trailer then, because I know they did it again at the Ubisoft press conference, but I'm pretty sure they had an Assassin's Creed where he was like climbing through the trees and he was jumping on guys and hanging up some other guys and using his blades and stuff. I was very impressed. That game looks really good.
so? Do you think you're going to get it when it comes out? You think it's good enough for that, or what?
I'd have to see more on the multiplayer. Um, if it's just single player, I haven't played an Assassin's Creed single player since Assassin's Creed 2. And from what I hear, they're about 40-hour games, 40 to 60 hours.
Wow.
So I don't know if I. We'll see. But this game looks really interesting because it's North American history, so it seems a little different than what Renaissance or whatever they were in before.
Yeah.
What about you?
Very cool. Um, I haven't played any. To be honest, I haven't played any of the Assassin's Creed stuff because primarily they were just single player, and then they started to roll out with a little bit more here and there,
Yeah,
and then some multiplayer stuff.
yeah.
But I mean, it's interesting to me. But like you said, if it's a 40 to 60 hour game, and do you know the release date on it by any chance? Was it
I
slated for this year or next
think
year?
it's November, either a week before Halo, maybe the end of October, or a week after Call of Duty. Not exact 100% sure, but it's in that time frame.
Uh, yeah, there's no. I'm not going to really have a bunch of time for to pick that up and then Halo and everything like that. So it looks good and it looks interesting, but it's not. It wasn't a big wow where it's going to pull away my Christmas or holiday time game.
Do you really think that any game could come out during that time that would entice you to pick it up along with Call of Duty and Halo? Because, of course, you're
Me,
going to be picking up both of those.
well, me specifically, I really, really doubt it. I mean, the COD, I'm not, the Blobs 2, I
Well,
I don't know if
let's
I'm
talk
going to
about
get it.
Blobs 2. What did you think of it from the press conference?
It looked pretty good, the whole jumping over to the future a little bit more and some, better weapons and everything, but I didn't see anything where I was like, oh, wow, that's really different from anything else they've done, because it's not. It's a little bit nicer. I prefer Treyarch a little bit more than Infinity Ward or whoever they are now are
Yeah, I,
doing it.
I agree. I agree. I like
It's
their zombie mode way better than the Spec Ops mode.
yeah, and I think they do a little bit better job polishing. I
Yeah,
mean, they were the ones that were finally able to clean up the lobby and get it where you could keep a group together.
yeah, it's true.
know? So I think, yeah, the other guys may come out with the engine or the main improvements, but then they come, clean it all up, stick in a few new innovations, and then you get a new COD game. But yeah, you're right. I mean, the only thing that might interest me a little bit might be one of the mech games. I might do that instead of the blob stuff, but Halo's definitely going to get the majority of my gameplay.
I I wasn't I wasn't overly impressed with Call of Duty's um, showing, and it was during the Microsoft press conference, which like none of that stuff really impressed me except for Halo. But I wasn't very impressed with it. I didn't really like the futuristic aspect to it. It seemed slightly different. I couldn't put my finger on it. It kind of bugs me. Maybe I need to see more. But I don't. I was even questioning whether or not I pick it up. To tell you the truth, because hey, I really liked Halo. So if I had to pick
Yeah,
between the two right now, I'd pick Halo.
yeah. And same with me too. If it just comes down to 2 games, I'm picking up Halo. And that's where my money's going to go. In fact, that's going to pull extra money because chances are I'm going to get the LE version so I can get all the DLC and all that stuff. So that's going to take a big part of my holiday budget. Definitely want to go with Borderlands too because I'm really looking forward to that. So
Surprised we didn't see any of it during any of the press conferences. I didn't see it at least.
They mentioned a little bit of it. I think they were going to wait till their own individual conference to do a lot of the show stuff. I thought that was supposed to happen today or tomorrow. I can't remember. But
no, that would explain it.
On the Borderlands stuff, maybe after the show or maybe even tomorrow.
Yeah, that would explain it. What else?
When I was watching the Twitter feeds and everything like that, I think the biggest buzz I saw come out was the Ubisoft conference.
Yeah, I liked Ubisoft's press conference a lot. They showed more of Assassin's Creed. They showed this one crazy scene where he's driving a ship and they're like, getting into cannon battles with other ships. And I'm like, this is Assassin's Creed?
You're like, wait a minute. What do ships have to do with anything? What's going on here? But no, that looked pretty good.
Yeah.
I was pretty excited for that. And they were coming out with that. God, the name is escaping me. It's the game where you're like hacking the city, or you use the city as a weapon, or which game I'm talking about?
Sounds vaguely familiar.
I can't remember. They showed it, and you've got the dude. He's walking along, and he sits up by the club doorway, and he hits a cell phone, and then all of a sudden, he kills everybody's cell phone around him, and then he goes inside.
Oh wait, yeah. He kills everyone's phone.
Yeah.
Was that Splinter Cell?
No, that wasn't Splinter Cell.
What was that? Watch Dogs.
That's it.
Was it Watch Dogs? It just popped up on my screen here. I'm like, wait a minute.
Somebody tell us. But yeah, I mean, that looked pretty interesting. Again, I want some more details as far as it. Is it just like one-person open world sandbox, like GTA or something like that? Or you're going to get to have buddies to hop in and to help you, like, hack the city and do whatever you got to do. But it looked pretty good. But when I was watching the Twitter feeds and stuff, a few guys said that it looked so good that they weren't sure if it was actually going to be for this generation of consoles or not.
Oh, wow. Really?
Yeah. I think they showed it. Was it either the Sony? It was either the Sony press conference or the... I'm not sure if it was Ubisoft, but it was supposedly being played on a PS3, but it looked like they were using a 360 controller to play it. So you've got all these like rumors and stuff like, oh, is this next gen? Is it not next gen? Where they're just using some aftermarket controller? It looks too good to be this generation, too smooth, too many things going on at once on the screen. So who knows? Maybe we actually did see a glimpse of a next gen game. That might be a release title, maybe for PS3 or something like that.
Hopefully, that would be amazing if they did something like that.
Yeah. So I was definitely hoping that there would be some little rumor or something like, oh, by the way, expect to hear more in the next year of the next generation console, or, oh, by the way, this is an example of some of the stuff coming for the next gen console, but you didn't really have that, and I was like, really?
Well, Microsoft started off their press conference right away. They were like, we're only talking 360, and we're only talking this year. Like, right off the bat. And with that, here's Halo 4. But, yeah, that... it was pretty bold of them to start off like that.
Well, I mean, I don't know. I guess, like I said, they're just trying to wring out that last few nickels, dimes, and pennies they can get, and they're going to just push forward. But then, I'm really hoping that next year is it, when we finally get the new console, because
I think it is. I think it makes sense for them not to say anything now. Why would they impede their own sales of the current gen? I understand the logic in it, but it would have been nice. It would have been nice.
Just a little cliffhanger.
Yeah,
like something.
By the way, it's coming.
Yeah.
Looking back now at our prediction show a couple of weeks ago, I don't know about you, but personally, I was wrong about a lot of stuff.
Yeah,
Like
I was.
completely wrong. It
Yeah.
is technically first day of E3, but I don't see any of my stuff coming true now.
No, because a lot of my stuff was on the big three announcements and everything like that. And, there wasn't this media Xbox. I thought they'd be, kicking out there or having
Right.
out there. That didn't pan
I
out.
forgot that you had
Uh,
that one. Right.
yeah, I was like,
Right.
damn it. Always that. But, I did see that Astro has their A50
Yes.
announced.
Yes. Yes. I saw that today. Ah,
So,
what a piss off. I wonder if I can return these.
I don't think they're going to let you do that yet.
I don't know. I wasn't overly impressed with what I saw and read about the thing. Like, it's completely wireless.
Yeah.
But a lot of the sacrifices they gave up were a lot of the things I liked about, or I like about the Astro, like being the mix amp, being able to plug in multiple things, and having apparently the dials on the headset now instead of
Yeah.
in front of you. It would be kind of weird to like jiggle around and try to
Yeah.
adjust it on the fly. I don't know.
Well, plus they're going to be heavier now because they made
Yeah,
stuff into the
yeah.
ear cups,
It's
and
got to
now
have
there's going to
internal
be a heavier
batteries, right?
headset. It's got the rechargeable
Yeah.
batteries, but then they pretty much essentially moved instead of having the base station or even like a receiver. The receiver is in the ear cups now. There isn't because right now they have a wireless one, but it has its own like separate receiver base. Now they've just taken that and they've stuck it in the ear cups. So
Yeah.
you have that. But
And it looks exactly like the A40.
yeah.
Like it's the exact same casing and everything.
Mhm.
I don't know. Well,
I was kind of hoping for more of a change,
yeah, it was more of a wired solution rather than wireless. It seems like their last two products have been wireless, and I don't know. I don't think that's the direction to go. But
Less wires is always good as long as they keep the quality up.
yeah,
So
yeah,
if they can do that, then I'm all for it. But like you said, there are some things that, now that's out. They said it'll still support um, other devices, not just consoles. You'll still be able to do PC. And they even said you could still do media players and stuff like that. I just don't know if it's going to be a Bluetooth function or something like else. But I guess we'll find out with the days that come.
yeah, yeah, yeah. One game that I really did like, as it was actually during Microsoft. I didn't realize was that South Park game.
Oh, dude.
That
Really?
looked really good.
I,
It seemed like it didn't look like a video game. It looked like it was a TV show, and I like that the two writers are working on the game and they actually came out and everything.
Yeah,
So
I mean that makes sense. You're definitely going to want to have the creative minds behind whether it be TV show, cartoon, whatever it is, as a big part of any video game. Because then you keep the spirit of the game or alive, and you have the essence of what it is. And hopefully, excuse me, it can translate over to the game itself.
have you heard much about this Star Wars 1313?
Just the stuff that I've seen, it's basically you're going to be a bounty hunter.
Okay.
And it's going to be a definitely more mature feel to it, maybe the little more dark side of it. They kind of like the Force Unleashed kind of stuff, but instead of being Jedi, you're on the bounty hunter on, I think was it Hutta or Coruscant, one of those.
Okay.
And there's going to be a bunch of like corruption and double dealings and everything, and I guess you're trying to figure it out what's going on, or you're just going to try to figure out who you got to take out. But it looks pretty good. I mean, the quick little stuff that I've seen online looks really interesting. I'm sure it's going to pull a lot of the Star Wars fans in there. If you're a big Force Unleashed fan, it's going to pull you in. And if you're a Bounty Hunter fan, you're definitely going to want to.
I kept seeing a lot of stuff on Twitter and stuff, IGN and all that, talking about the game, but I hadn't seen any of it. So I was just, yeah, it seems promising. One person I saw said that it was the best Star Wars game in a long time or something like that. I'm like, really? What about Old Republic? That's a pretty good Star Wars game, I
Well,
think.
I played in that. I think it is as well, but it's like two different game type. So if you're not like the MMORPG type stuff, then, if you're more in the console along those lines, the last thing you really had was Force Unleashed, right?
Mm-hmm.
So, I guess that's along the lines, or else you had, Star Wars Connect.
Yeah.
It's totally opposite.
No, we don't want to.
Kids.
I don't want to mention that one.
So, is there anything left that you're hoping to see, or anything that you're kind of wanting to hear more about?
I wanted to see more on Far Cry 3, and from what I saw, I wasn't overly impressed. Other than that, I saw what I wanted to see in Assassin's Creed. I was disappointed didn't hear anything about Half-Life from Valve, but I don't think Valve is there at all this year, actually.
I don't know. I mean, they're kind of one of those guys that they can almost just do their own thing where they don't have to be there. You know what I mean? It's kind of like Blizzard doesn't have to be there.
Yeah.
I think Valve doesn't have to be there. They can still do their own thing and be fine. But yeah, it would have been cool to get like a surprise pop-up like, oh, by the way, Half-Life 3 coming out in December. Yeah, we didn't have anything like that. But yeah, I'm trying to think if there was anything else.
Oh, Battlefield 3 Premium.
Oh, that's right. The premium for Battlefield 3. Sorry about that, Battlefield fans. I was going to talk about that. It was announced and released this week, at least for the PS3 console. You can get it right now and have that premium membership or whatever you want to call it. Apparently it's going to be $50. It's going to get you 4 DLC packs, correct? Is it 4
Yeah,
or 5?
I think it's. Well, they have only announced 4, but I'm pretty sure I thought it was 5. Unless there's another one we don't know about.
5. Well, I think it's going to be 5 if you don't have Back to Kirkland.
Okay. Oh, okay.
So I think that'll be the 5th one. So if
yeah.
off or want to try it again, they'll get that with it.
That makes total sense. Yeah.
But you're going to get, 20 new weapons and 10 new vehicles or 20 new vehicles or something like that. So new weapons, new vehicles, dog tags. There's new assignments. PS3 is going to get their stuff 2 weeks before for all future DLC. This week, it's going to be 1 week. So this week is all PS3. Next week is supposed to be Xbox and PC.
Now, when does the first map pack come out? The Close Quarters, I think it's called?
That's out right now. PS3 people are playing Close Quarters.
Oh, okay. Oh, PS3. Yeah. God damn it.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, they have that's who they signed the exclusive contract for.
Right.
The YouTube videos that I've seen of it, it's pretty cool. They've got, there's like game type. It's kind of, if you ever played, the gun game in COD? Remember that where you started off with one weapon and then you got a kill and then it switched to a new weapon, had to get a kill with that and it kept switching up?
No.
Oh, you didn't play that, did you?
No.
That was a fun game. Well, that was one of them that I saw, but it's actually team-based now. So I guess I don't know if it's first to 16, one member on a team with 16 kills or gets to that 16 weapon. But apparently, you definitely start off with a pistol, then you move to a couple different pistols, and you start moving to the submachine guns and the large machine guns. And I guess apparently for your last kill, you have to go up and shank somebody with a knife.
Oh.
So
yeah, this is all new to me. I've never heard of this before.
Yeah, it's pretty neat. But it's actually, instead of just being one person on one person, it was team versus team. So they still worked in the whole team aspect. It was one of the smaller maps. It was pretty crazy. Stuff happened all the time. So I'm pretty excited about it. I'm definitely going to get the DLC pack. I don't know if I'm going to do the premium thing again because on their the battle log site, they do kind of break down. You can click in the premium area, and they kind of map out when the DLC is going to be coming out. And this DLC and maybe one more pack I can see myself getting, but after that I'm going to be running it again into more games and stuff like that I want to be getting, so I don't know if I'm going to have a lot of time for that. But it definitely does look good. Is $50 too much? Is kind of the plan I've seen. Well, if you're going to be in for the long haul, for all 4 DLCs, yeah, you're going to save yourself at least $10. If you're only going to get in for a couple DLC packs and you're not sure about the rest, I don't know if you want to spend the $50 or not. I was kind of hoping there'd be a little bit more with the premium service. Maybe they would throw in 6 months worth of your own server, or 3 months of getting your own server with that. But I didn't see that.
Yeah, that would have been a good addition.
Yeah.
No, I'll definitely get it. I think I'm definitely gonna get it. Just because I really love that game. New guns, new vehicles,
Yeah,
maps.
yeah.
I'd end up buying the maps anyway, so I'd end up spending that money on just the maps. So might as well get it. I definitely end up.
When you're competing against the other 2 consoles that are already doing what you're doing, so they needed every advantage they could have, and I think they dropped the ball.
I totally agree. They totally dropped the ball. They had the advantage being last. They saw that Microsoft and Sony came out with nothing, and this is their opportunity. Here we go. Here's the Wii U, and no, nothing.
No.
They a lot of games weren't there. You didn't see no Zelda game. Didn't really see a new Mario game. It was new Super Mario Brothers Wii or whatever it was, but it's nothing new. It was a sequel to a game we've already seen. No Smash Brothers, no Mario Kart. And at one point, some guy came out and he was like, "We're gonna talk about 3DS, but not today. Tomorrow. Tune in tomorrow at this time at this website, and we'll talk all about 3DS." And I was like, "What is this press conference for?"
What's going on?
Yeah.
Why do they have all these people here?
Yeah, I don't understand that. And yeah.
No, they definitely, like you said, they dropped the ball. They had the chance to grab everyone's attention and grab the spotlight, and they failed miserably. So who knows when it's going to come out? Maybe they're going to try. I don't even know if they're going to try a holiday release. Maybe they're going to try like a summertime release to capture.
Yeah, in my
lull type thing.
in the predictions that I came up with for that show a couple weeks ago, I don't know if I said it on the air, but I thought that they're not going to come out this year. They're going to come out like March of next year, early next year, some point. Q2, maybe Q1, but yeah, I don't see them coming out this year. And maybe this is a sign that they're not ready because they barely showed us any information.
It could be, but I mean, if they're not ready, I mean, how bad is that? When last E3 they were already saying, they gave us a heads up. They're like, oh, by the way, check this out. You know, and then a year later they're kind of like,
we got nothing.
That's bad, and that's bad, and they needed. If they are not ready and they figured out that, like, oh, damn, we're going to have to, put more hardware into this thing or whatever it is, I hope they do it, but they better do it fast, and they better figure it out, because I think they just, like I said, they just gave up the ghost and failed.
Yeah, I agree. I'd be surprised as to what Doodi and them thought, because I know they went to the Sony and Nintendo. I wonder if it was a different atmosphere there while watching it.
Well, I saw, I was watching Tiff's blog, and she put up some pictures and everything like that. And I don't know. Generally, Sony likes to be all dog and pony show and everything like that, but I don't know. I think everyone is pretty much done trying to say, hey, look at this stuff, except for Nintendo. But the other guys are just like, well, these are the new add-ons we're going to have. These are the new games we're going to have for this system. And they just didn't really want to promise a whole lot of stuff because they know they've got the new consoles coming out hopefully in another year.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah, for me, E3's kind of been a bummer so far. I mean,
I totally agree. Nothing's really popped out other than Halo. Nothing else has popped out to me that makes me want to be like, yeah, this is awesome. Everything's kind of been like, meh. Yeah, meh.
Exactly.
I wonder if it has anything to do with this gen is on its way out. But I don't know, it was very weird. They didn't talk about next gen, and this gen seems like it's on its way out, and I don't know, very weird. Confusing E3.
No, I'm definitely with you. I definitely think it's part of that. This generation is on its way out, and that's pretty much about it. You know, they're just hoping to make this last one more year, and then next year have it be all like, oh, hardware, new stuff, that's what we're going to do. Because you know what? Honestly, if this year is how it is, and if they're not thinking this year, if they're thinking, 2000, what year are we in? If they're thinking 2014 instead of like 2013, what the hell is next E3 going to be? You know what I mean?
That's true.
It's going to be horrible. I think people, I think they're going to riot. Have a bunch of nerds just storm the stage like, there was new hardware.
And you just know Doodi would be at the front of the line.
Oh, yeah. Well, actually, I don't think he'd be front of the
line. Not the front of the line, but
yeah.
He'd be the one instigating it. Let's get them, guys. Let's get them.
What's this bullshit? No hardware. Let's string them up. And, then let the first mask come in, and then he'd be jumping over other people's backs.
Oh, man.
All right, Hitman. Well, I just wanted to do a quick show today, just trying to give a quick rundown of what you and I thought so far, what we've seen, and kind of pass on maybe what we heard. And I think we've done all right.
Yep.
I think we've done a pretty good job pulling down the show this week,
That was E3 so far.
It's out here in California doing their thing, and hopefully next week when they come back, they'll give us some juicy details on maybe some, like, parties and stuff, or maybe some stuff from the show floor itself, something that really grabbed their attention, because so far I don't see it.
I think, yeah, the stories coming from those guys will be the more interesting stuff, because they actually get hands-on. They'll actually get to try Halo and try all those other games that are there. Is Doodi supposed to be visiting you by any chance?
That's a sore subject.
All right.
Apparently not. I mean, there are tentative, maybe possibility plans for breakfast on Friday, but we'll see. I don't want to drive all the way up there because literally I'd have to leave here like at 5 a.m. to get through the frickin' traffic and everything. And
where are you?
What?
Where are you? South of Los Angeles?
I'm about, okay, if there's no traffic, if nobody's on the freeway,
okay,
I can get to the convention center in about 45 minutes to 50 minutes.
Oh, okay, all right.
Any typical day between, if I needed to get there, let's say between 8 a.m. and 12 p.m., I literally have to leave at least 2 to 2.5 hours early.
Okay.
So, yeah, I really don't want to mess with that, but we'll see if he can take down the train and whatnot, but we'll see. We'll let you know.
Maybe if Doodi's watching right now.
Yeah,
if you're watching right now, invite him.
But what would be neat if the Kings win the tomorrow?
I remember about was it 2 or 3 E3s ago when the Lakers won? It was just like destruction everywhere.
I was talking to Doodi about that, and he's like, hotel's already won it, because I guess his hotel is like right there, like right across the street from, and it's the way it's set up there is you have the convention center right here, and literally right next door is Staples Center. I mean, it's even walking distance for me. It's right next to each other. So his hotel's right across the street. So if it goes down, who knows if he's going to be able to get back to his hotel or if he's going to be able to get out of his hotel. Maybe he'll like join a riot, try to flip a cop car or something like that, burn a newsstand. I don't know. Maybe Doodi will stay in L.A. for a while.
And then he'll be calling you, I need a place to stay.
Too bad! We can have a barbecue, too bad! All right, Too Old Play. Well, thanks for tuning in if you did. Thanks for checking out the video if you do in a day or so. Hitman and I appreciate that. And thanks, Hitman, for putting this on and joining me today.
Thanks for having me on, guys. Take care.
All right. Later.